Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, formerly the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for April the 18th through the 24th, 2022. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone who is returning this week and for this particular series, and also welcome anyone who may be new to our angelic wisdom community. So, as you can see, the channel is going through a bit of a transition, and we recently just sort of picked a logo design I had on a poll. So I will be likely seeing the results of that this weekend on Sunday, just to keep you updated about that and see what adjustments have been made. Also, I have started my Instagram finally. I think one of my clients, Nolan, gave me this idea quite a long time ago, so I just got around to doing it. And so I have made a daily card post there. I'm not quite sure yet how to do the videos there, so I'll have to figure that out. Um, and also, so I'll put a link below, but it's Angelic Wisdom 444 is my Instagram account. So if you all want to go there and follow me there, that'll be really helpful. And we'll see what ideas for that channel might grow specifically. But right now, I'm just wanted to get it started because I was told a very long time ago by the angels to do it, and I mean a long time ago. Um, and I don't even know if I knew Instagram existed when I heard it, but yeah, I'm one of those people. It takes me forever. So, so that's finally done. So, hopefully you will find that accessible for some of you and enjoyable. Also, and I just keep seeing archangels, so it might be also where I do some work just focus on the archangels. This new deck, I've really wanted to really get to know these archangels like a little bit more intimately, and so I might do some posts there with the archangels, maybe in a sort of a small video, just directly through Instagram. But again, I have to figure out how all that works. So just so technologically challenged here, but I will definitely keep you posted. And also, again, this is, if you haven't checked out the monthly angel reading, I don't think everybody's seen it yet. And the 12 zodiac readings, those have been posted on YouTube, on my channel, on my Facebook, and my Twitter account. So if you get an opportunity to have a look, please feel free to do so. And lastly, if you're looking for an angel reading with me, since this is my 10th anniversary year, you can get my first time promotional offer on my website, theangelschool.com, for the rest of the year, as often as you would like. Okay? So let's take a deep breath. Gosh, I just want to share with you something else before that happened in the last couple of days. And especially just in case it might be a calling for some others, I've been experiencing for quite a long time, actually. I live in Manhattan and New York City, and um, you know, being sensitive to energy, I've just noticed locations. Um, just you get a feeling about a location, but one time, just as an example, in the lower west side, I just won't say where, but um, for years, I've been here for 29 years, and for most of those years, I would see this one street, and I would just, it seemed like it was in another time, and I always saw it the same way, day or night. And I finally pointed it out to one of my friends, and she saw it too. And so I looked it up and discovered that there had been sort of slaves that were killed in that area. So once I saw it, that energy went away. And then recently, um, I've been feeling sort of restless in terms of sleep. I mean, I can sleep, but I wake up feeling really groggy. And um, so, similar situation, so I'll just make it short. When I realized over the years, I've seen uh, thousands of souls, um, in a altered dream state outside my window, just float down the street. And then very recently, this week, when I was trying to fall asleep, they entered my room en masse, like hundreds and hundreds of people, from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so once I realized what was going on, I started to sleep better. Like I wake up feeling refreshed rather than feeling really groggy. I did ask them to exit my room immediately, because I wasn't gonna get into that while I'm trying to fall asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. But um, what has unfolded is that as the ascension process is amplifying, um, one of my teachers, Kim Sear, many years ago, told us this was going to happen. And I think this is now what I'm seeing and experiencing. And she explained that there would be this bottleneck as all of the souls who have not crossed over from whatever reason. There's a lot of fear, especially in that time period and before, about heaven and hell, and it was more punitive. So they weren't crossing over. There are other religions who have more of a punitive idea about the transition, and so therefore people are kind of been held up, and some not really understanding what had happened to them. So it's a lot of different variations. There were very wealthy people that I saw, as well as um, all different backgrounds in terms of wealth. Now, the thing is that I had the beautiful experience last night of after a friend kind of helped me decipher, because they showed me that there was a portal, but I just wasn't getting all of the pieces of it. So um, once I called in Archangel Michael and the angels, it was a very beautiful experience. I actually got to walk through the very first stages of the crossover with them, where 3 stars appeared in the sky in the form of a triangle. When I called in the Archangel Michael and the angels, and then a little bit after that, and then um, the third eye, I guess the eye of the divine, appeared in the center. And then as I, was talking to them and helping them to understand, having this compassionate conversation at some point, and then they started to talk about some of their fears. Um, just in words, I saw it. And at some point, something shifted for them where they understood and they were no longer afraid. And then the portal opened up, and it was, like a spherical, but like a tunnel. And as they started to walk through, because they were no longer staring at me, waiting for, understanding. My friend was telling me that my frequency had risen to the point that they could relate to me, or connect with me. And so I'm the one that they were looking at to talk to. And it's funny because I've had a neighbor, her dog, like every morning for months, I just found out recently, will stand in front of my door for like 45 minutes. And one day I open the door, he comes right in and goes through the apartment. He's done it twice. But anyway, so once I realized why I was, for the last 7 years, really having this trouble going to sleep, I was able to realize what I needed to be doing in terms of helping. And then there was the violet flame came, and it was a, given to them as a gift to just release and surrender anything that they felt um, would prevent them from crossing over, because it's really in their mind. And so they needed to give those things up. Not that there was a prerequisite for them to do so, but they needed to, for their own self-awareness as a soul, for lack of a better word. But the point was is that as they did this, the freedom that they started to feel liberated, and they started to be able to feel the harmony and the alignment of the enormous love that really just had nothing else for them but love, nothing else. And and at that point, I just got to see people reunited with loved ones, and they would turn to me, and then they would go. And then last night, I thought it was, kind of on its way. Then at 3 a.m. this morning, I awoke from a dream, hearing in the dream a song, Elvira. Remember that song? Some guy was playing the guitar. When I wake up, I see nothing but legions and legions of soldiers, from from pretty much across time, but specifically Civil War and a lot of World War I veterans, and then World War II, and even since some Vietnam soldiers. Just and I but my belief is that because they weren't looking at me, but the violet light was illuminated all around them, and they were just walking on this path in this beautiful forest, and they were just walking, in regiment, in line, just like soldiers, and walking towards the light. And so it was a very beautiful thing. And then I saw Native Americans. I saw others as well. So this is something I hope that is going on, because as these souls cross over and they go into the higher dimensions, then I think it will start to cause us to feel less pressure and intensity with the ascension frequencies that we're dealing with. So it was like sort of bottlenecking. So I don't know if you've been experiencing what I have been experiencing. If you have, it'd be interesting to hear about it in the comments. And this portal is, nearby. So I don't know if, some of the soldiers, because I wasn't expecting that, were all from this area, or they're coming from other areas, hearing about this, and being able to move on. So if have been maybe experiencing something similar, you might want to check in to see if you need to help souls cross over. The land has layers of history, and souls that are stuck by choice, out of fear. I'm not a big expert on this, but this is definitely was a huge experience, and it made the idea of crossing over. It was so beautiful. I wrote to one of my friends, like, this is going to be a little bit of fun um, when the time comes. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, especially if any of you are experiencing similar situation that I've been experiencing for like I would say over 7 years. My sleep patterns got worse after my mom passed, um, and my dreams have been very intense. But um, I've definitely gotten relief since then. And also, if anybody's having this trouble, the one thing that has helped me is on my Google Mini, I ask for the nature forest sounds, and so there are these birds singing, and you hear the little bugs, and a little bit of a stream, and that has also helped um, to keep my vibration um, clear, and help me to wake up and feeling kind of peaceful and refreshed when I wake up. So a little bit combination of things. And I also asked the unicorns. I've tried different things, but I asked the unicorns to create just sort of a grid around me, or a blanket of light around me, and that has also been very, very helpful as well. So just in case, because it's just so important that we get sleep, and that we feel refreshed, but the intensity of the ascension frequencies is really, and this bottlenecking of all of these souls who have to go through first, and then our frequencies can elevate, and we can go through that portal more easily, in terms of our ascension. But it'll be easier for us once. And there were some animals in there too, so don't forget them as well if you feel called to this work. All right, so let's take a moment to take a deep breath. And I know this has gone a bit longer, but hopefully they have figured this all out for us. And just connecting with your heart space. And what I'm seeing is a couch, but sort of more of a French antique style couch, maybe a two-seater, maybe it's a three-seater. And I see a tree with a very thin trunk, and it's sort of hovering over this bench. And then I saw Raphael, so I feel like Archangel Raphael is wanting you to take some time to heal this week, to rejuvenate and to heal. And that doesn't mean stop what you're doing, but it does mean that you need to be sensitive to to your emotional needs, and your psychological needs, and any physical needs. Be aware of your body and your frequency, and to try to work with that. So if you're feeling like you don't have a lot of energy, then don't take on extra things, right? Try to simplify your your roles as best you can, and try to create space and time for any type of relaxation, recuperation, or healing. I mean, also maybe a time of reconciliation as well. It might be, healing between you and someone else, or a group, or another group of people. They just showed me like this. I want to say it's not a book, but it's kind of like almost like a score, like a musical score that they open, because it's kind of long, like a conductor's score. So maybe it could be like a map, or something. But it feels like plans, like schematics for something. And that you might want to, I'm still concerned about the trunk of the tree being very thin. So this is telling me that there's something that you're not connecting with. And so before you take action on any kind of plans or um, that you might have, especially if it involves a conflict, that you need to take the time first to really make sure that you're in full alignment and that you're fully open to your I am presence and the guidance of your higher self at this, in this situation. Because we might be too much in our feelings, meaning um, our baggage is sort of triggering us and causing us to want to react. And it feels like a power struggle where sometimes we try to prove to ourselves. Sometimes something happens where someone has wronged us, we feel wronged, and then we think we have to prove something to ourselves, or we have to stand up for ourselves, but we don't have the grounds to do so. We don't have all the facts, because if our ego has blown things out of proportion, then what we're dealing with is illusions. What I mean by that is that we're being triggered by the past and not by what's really going on in the present. First, with yourself, you have to become very aware of what's going on with myself at this moment. And once you know what that might be, you might be able to better understand how it is and why it is that you are perceiving a situation or circumstances in this manner. So this is finding that balance within yourself first in order to have the best assessment of what you think is in front of you, or what is going on in front of you. So before you start creating plans, or you decide to take action, or to take back your power, make sure you first understand, and keep looking until you do understand, that you never lose your power. That is an illusion, and it is a projection of some baggage or fear that would trigger you into perceiving that someone's actions has been able to strip you of your power or your dignity. And I know that many of you go, but when people do this, that strips people of their dignity, that strips them of their power. But only we can give that away by believing in what someone says. That's what it means to take something personally. And trust me, this is coming through my mouth only because I'm listening to the angels and translating what they're saying. But this doesn't work for me either. But I do understand it. Sometimes, unfortunately, after the fact, I do get it. The Archangel Jeremiah is coming through as well. And Archangel Jeremiah helps us to review life's situations that we're in from all perspectives. He normally helps people with that when they're crossing over, but he can help us with this while we're in something in our physical bodies still. And it's all about judgment, he's saying, and it's about how we judge ourselves and beliefs that cause us to judge ourselves and the world around us, that we often see, well, if somebody does this way, then this is disrespectful to me. And it is from our human perspective, but from your soul's perspective, it's like the soul your I am presence doesn't hear those things, because it's always focused on what is your power and your dignity. It's always marveling at it, and it's always it's taking care of it. It's a caregiver of all of your dignity, your power, your gifts. It's the caretaker of it. And in this sense, if your I am presence ever stopped to entertain something that happens on this level of being, of awareness, then that means that would all go away. Because your I am presence always has its eyes and only sees you in your power, in your dignity, sees you as multi talented and gifted and just unconditionally loving. It's because your I am presence holds this view of you. It is the reason why that power, that dignity, and that respect continues to exist. So if your I am presence was to become like you and take its eyes off of it and then take things personally going on out around you, your power and dignity then really no longer exist. And so it is our job, our role, to always see ourselves and to see the situations that we're in from the perspective of our I am presence, because that is where your power, your dignity, your beauty, your love, your abundance, your everything is expanding and growing, because your I am presence is constantly tending to it. It's the caregiver of all your goodness, all your blessings. Your I am presence is tending to it and will never take its eyes off of it. This is the same for God. The source is God is never taking its eyes off of who you truly are and all that you're becoming because of what you've lived here. So however we struggle, you still come out with investments, rewards out of every experience, enlightenment. And all of it goes to the eye and attention of your I am presence and God, where it is nurtured and cared for and encouraged and enhanced and expanded. Do you see how important that work is? But there's compassion for us, you and I, when we don't get it. There's compassion for us. And it's okay if you don't get it. But you do have to understand that you're going to continue to feel god awful until you do align with what truly is. So these types of things are a journey for us. They're a path towards our own evolution. They're transformative. No matter how bad you think you screw it up, you just keep giving more to that abundance that your I am presence in God is the caretaker of. So it's okay if you and I screw it up a lot, because all of that is just what we learn, the growing pains of it all basically just turns into worth and enlightenment that then your I am presence in God will be the caretaker of. And they're writing the word in front of me, manifestations. They turn into what are the most powerful, unique, transformative manifestations that at some point when you stop being in resistance to the way they see you, your energy, that those things, those blessings will come through to you one day, and then you'll be overwhelmed by them. Because that's just how much goodness has been amassed for you. So we try to do our best in this week to not take things personally. And first and foremost, not to say that you're not meant to take action, but you want to do it from as much of that wealth that the I am presence, that your I am presence and God nurtures for you and sees you as. You want to do it from that level of dignity, that level of power. And I think if we knew exactly, we could put our fingers on it, exactly what that felt like and what it really is, then those situations that are distracting us on this level, we probably would not give it much of our attention either, because it just doesn't feel as good as this. And that is the only reason why you feel bad when somebody does something to you that is disrespectful, because the first bit of information about that is that is not who you are, what they are saying, and that you don't deserve to see yourself that way because they say it so, because they say so. That's what's important for you to know. It's not about you trying to convince them of who you are. Because if you're going to wait around for that, that might never happen. Even if they apologize, you will feel that they don't really mean it. Even if you can feel that they're trying to mean it, because they just don't know what your worth is. They don't know this power that your I am presence and that God sees in you. They will never be able to understand it until they get right with themselves in the same way. And then that's when we'll all meet at that level of perception and understanding one another. But at this level, we will never be able to understand, nor can we expect anyone as they right in front of me to be responsible for being able to do so. Because there's just too many limits at this level that we're working with. Okay, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with this week. And look at this. Need I say more? So Archangel Raquel, and as it says here, he's holding those scales. Be fair in all situations, resolve your conflicts. So you can work even more specifically with Archangel Raquel to help you to understand this, first of all, your own worth, your own value, how to balance the scales for yourself, within yourself first, to balance the scales within the consciousness that you accept is yourself, with that which is truly yourself, your higher self, or your I am presence and God, to figure out how to balance, come into balance with that awareness of your dignity, your power, your respect, your worth. Because once you do that, you will be able to see across all circumstances what it is that the angels see in terms of you and those situations that you're involved in, and what your role is from that higher angelic perspective. Because we don't need to get all up in it just to prove that we are somebody. Because once you get all up in it, you're getting all up in some mess that somebody else has created because they got mess that they aren't dealing with. And what's important here is integrity, that you maintain your own spiritual integrity by going up and getting involved in somebody's mess without first finding balance with yourself, your higher self. you will compromise your integrity down, 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 down. And you will become not only what they have accused you of, but you will become what they are afraid to see in themselves. And it's just dragging you along with it because why? Misery loves company. So you got to decide this week, do I want to hold company with people who do not truly know who I am? Because the only ones who know who I am is my I am presence and God. And that is the only thing that I should care about. So you have to care this week about yourself enough to distinguish the difference between who knows you and who doesn't. And what's worthwhile. It's all about you feeling good. All right, so the first card for the beginning of the week is the Hierophant. And we see sort of this Stonehenge-like structure here. And this just reminds us of these ancient beliefs, right? It reminds of these traditions that have been ingrained in us, not just in this lifetime, but for many lifetimes. And it also points, I love how this sunrise is dawning. You see the night sky, so that means that at the beginning of the week, that you have the opportunity to remain in those beliefs, those ancient beliefs that might be limiting because they haven't been updated yet. And you have the opportunity to allow new light to flow into your belief systems and to unhinge you from some of these things, to get you unstuck, to liberate you, to help you to adjust and flex in different ways, to expand beyond these limitations. You also have an opportunity to really know what you stand for. You have an opportunity to truly listen, because the Hierophant is also someone who is a mediator between heaven and earth. And so you have the ability to act as a spiritual mediator, one who listens to all perspectives and offers spiritual enlightenment, reveals that transcendent choice, that which is, people are struggling down here and back and forth in this duality, but that insight that comes from above, that's floating up there, that's holding the bar high for everyone. So you're being asked to hold the bar high, not only for yourself, but for others as well. And then we have the Chariot. And with this space here, we just have this flowing rapids. And everything is moving very quickly and moving again towards the light. So once you know what the bar is for yourself, then things can move. You can move through any challenge that might come your way. And you know where you're going, because the point seems to be this week so far, you're going towards the light. You're choosing the light. You're choosing your I am presence, understanding and enlightenment and wisdom. You have reservoirs of this abundance within you to choose from. You do not have to always be stuck in your fears. So imagine, here you could either see yourself fumbling around, feeling completely out of control because you can't control the rapids and you're moving swiftly and you're trying to swim but you can't because it's beating on you. Or you could focus on the direction of that path. You see that light at the end. If you trust the light, that peace, you know that it's something is going to be over soon. That it's not going to last for long. That's another feeling I get about this too. It's like focus is important here in the middle of the week. And know that something is going to happen. It's going to be quick. It's not going to last for long. But if you add to it, if you get in that mess, you'll make it bigger and it'll last longer. And so that's why they say let some things just roll off you, because when you do that, it minimizes the whole entire experience. That's the best way to take back your power, is by not adding any of yours to a situation that is already somebody's trying to blow up, trying to steal your thunder. By refusing to engage, you minimize the event at the extent in which they were expecting to get the payout from it at your expense. So don't give people, don't gaslight their drama. Okay? If that makes any sense. Okay. And this is a card, the Nine of Wands. This is about endurance here. And you see you have this rose and then wands, 4 wands that are white and 4 wands that are black. So this is talking about balance here. That if you focus on your balance. Find a place that, even like this rose, find something that's beautiful. Find one thing that you can be grateful for. Even if it's, I'm so grateful. I could be really mad about this, and you can be honest. I could really be mad about what was said or done. But at least I did not give myself over to this. Find something to be grateful for. Or although this day was really horrible, but this one opportunity came out of it, and I'm grateful for it. Like, find something to be grateful for, because that will help you to find alignment, and it'll help you to stay balanced as you persevere through this situation until it's done, until it's over. And it will be over. Again, 9 here, 7, we're sort of at the last end of 1 through 10. So it's not going to be long, but you just need to stay focused. You need to stay on track with your heart. And when you don't feel good, and I know it's not easy to wrestle with this and try to fix anything, but what you try to do is try to find a way to make yourself feel a little bit better. There's always something that you're being given from the divine. It's just that when things go wrong, we can't hear or see the blessings that they're handing to us. So many people have realized that they missed a train, or they got stuck in traffic, and it would seem like the most horrible thing until they realized that if they had not been stuck, that they could have been in a fatal accident or a situation that would have been most unfavorably to them. So this is what I mean. Find something to be grateful for. Okay, and the card that I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck is the Child of Wands. Now, the Child of Wands, I feel like this is somebody who is, the Wands family suit is definitely, they're inspirational, creative, but they can also be very fiery, very, they jump into things without really thinking them through. They can be restless. They can be argumentative, right? Just or anxious or anxiety or just not very settled. And sometimes this can be triggering for us in all the different ways. Like, people who like to fly by the seat of their pants, you might not like that. You might want control, right? You might want to have control over those plans. And it could be something like this, that you let yourself get triggered by this and start letting, oh my God, what is this person doing? And I can't handle this. And you go on and you go on, you talk about it, you work yourself up, and now you're disturbed by, just because actions of, they're inspired and they're doing this and they're jumping on this and jumping on this, and you're feeling like somebody's just flying all around you and you can't keep up with them, and that makes you feel horrible about yourself, and you start focusing on how much you might not succeed, or how unprepared you are, so that when you actually get up to do it, you are unprepared, or you feel tongue-tied. That happened to me one time when I was teaching in the public school, like a teaching artist thing, and they wanted me to present this professional development day for the teachers, and I've been teaching this information, but all of a sudden I got stuck on this grade level, and I didn't have materials for them because I wasn't teaching that grade level at the time, and I just could have shown them whatever I was doing, but I got really upset because they asked me to do it in a day, and at the first group I felt like an idiot, and then it was after the first group I realized I could just do what I've been doing, and then I was like myself. So those are the kind of examples that it may not be an argumentative thing, but it may be about creativity and being feeling caught off guard or put on the spot, and that really triggers you to just sort of come all out in all kinds of ways. And you might complain about that being disrespectful because, why don't they tell you things? I mean, I've been through these conversations myself before, and I'm sure you have as well. So let's get connected to the value and worth, the power and the dignity and the respect and the admiration for your gifts and your talents, the faith in you that your I am presence and that source has for you. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week.